coming. They're coming. They bit the bait. They took the bait. They took the bait. Pigeon power. Oh my God, the pigeon power. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel the pigeon power? Do you feel it? Holy fuck. Oh my God, the pigeon power. Hey guys, my name is X Factor and I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to some more They Shall Not Pass DLC gameplay, playing another round of Conquest on Rupture. I'm going to give my overall thoughts and impressions on this as we feature the new French tank, which as you can see has the power of the pigeons. So for every pigeon you shot playing the new game mode War Pigeons in Battlefield 1, they're exacting their karma, getting their buddies and bringing in death from above. It's hilarious. Sometimes it gets you killed, but it's worth it. But if you are being overwhelmed, no matter what happens to your tank, that death from above is still coming down. And there's multiple hot spots on Rupture, like the D and A flag when you catch the other team's Zerg. It's absolutely disgusting. So you're actually going to see the other team get behind quite a bit, and they're going to bust out the Char 2C, which we baited into a trap. Most of you guys already know that the bridge is destructible. It can rubble drop people that are underneath it, and you can actually make the Char 2C drop down in the river. Does it flip? We've done it a couple times, hasn't flipped yet. Usually gets stuck there and they start wheeling around. Remember, the Char 2C has very little mobility, and they eventually get out of the river because it's not too deep. The river and the bridge are an interesting spot to play on this map. You can actually swim underneath. You can flank underneath by crawling up on the structure and then actually getting on top of the bridge if you climb the arch. Very sneaky. So if you're a tank, figure out where those arches are, or if you have an AT rocket, and just hit them. Hit this cover that you saw one of the guys playing to the left so you can more easily see them. But again, if somebody's on the flag radius, which underneath the bridge and the structure is the flag radius, you can see the sliver. There's still a little bit of red, so based on the ratio, there's one or two bad guys left. And just like any other tank fights, it's all about angles. You don't want to have reflex shots where you're only doing 2 or 3 damage with your tank round because you only have 6, so you do want to hit them dead on. And there you see me running over somebody and then shooting a guy because the wall is destructible, and he went boom as well. The bridge can kind of be a death trap for tanks. The good news is the French tank is pretty quick in reverse, and it's got some issues. It's really, really hard to gun. Anytime you hit a railroad track, a single bump, it throws your crosshair all over the place, and it's really not predictable. Let's say you're going full speed and you give this thing a brake check, or you go to hit the gas, the pedal to the metal, it's going to throw your crosshair around again. So the only time it's really truly accurate when your crosshair is basically dead on is when you're standing still. And usually that's a death sentence for a tank. In previous Battlefield titles, you used to be able to peek and pillar just like you would be infantry, and oftentimes little changes in the map texture, whether it be a railroad track or a little bump, wouldn't mess up your crosshair too much. This thing is all over the place. It almost seems like it's too slippery. And here you see we go down with the ship, but still got off that pigeon power. So it's something that DICE might want to tweak compared to other tanks that I've used in Battlefield 1, because it's a lot different than tanking in previous Battlefield titles with how often your crosshair can get thrown around. This thing is pretty fun to use. You do have a secondary, which is a shotgun, and this is the default variant. So you do have that power, and oftentimes it's a lot more effective up to 30 or 40 feet. Just hit it with the shotgun scatter. It's like the heavy tank basically, and I've actually had a 4 or 5 bang multi-bang with the shotgun, I believe. It's that dirty. If they're clumped up, if they're around each other, they're going to get it, and of course it's going to collateral. And here's the weakness of the tanks in Battlefield 1. Here's the trade-off: positioning. It's more important now than ever before. You don't have things such as reactive armor where I could eat a single shot, then I could repair that side, or I could rotate my tank to the front where it'd eat another piece of reactive armor, or the other side and another piece of reactive off. 4 sides of reactive. Basically, if you're caught out of positioning, if they've got ammo, you're probably dead unless you get some help. So you really have to hope that your teammates are paying attention and can put some pressure to hopefully get that other piece of armor to back up, because if not, you're dead. And that's one thing the artillery truck can do well. It can play offensively just due to the rotation of its turret. It could really catch heavy pieces of armor off guard. But obviously we know what most people use the artillery trucks for. Play operations, camp in the uncap, and get 50 kills in a row. So here's another example of all the bobbing that's going to kind of go on. The tank's really floaty, and I think that's something that DICE needs to tweak, is how floaty this thing is. It's really problematic, and it's really tough to help cap certain flags unless you're in the death zone. Because the nice thing about all these trenches is they do protect you as infantry, but the bad thing is they catch grenades, and grenades catch lips and then bounce down, and it's not a good time. So you really have to be careful when and where you push your armor. If you see an enemy armor from D, try to surround it and hit it from multiple angles so he doesn't know where to rotate, because most tanks in Battlefield 1 don't have full gunners. And remember, if you pound the right side a couple times, it's actually going to take out that gun, and he has to manually repair that internally, holding X on the PC to get that gun back up. Usually somebody wrenching on the outside won't bring it back up unless they're wrenching forever. And here we're dropping the hot pigeon power yet again, which really helped clear this out. On D, you actually cannot cap from the elevation unless you're on the lip of it, the very cusp of the lip in multiple spots. You pretty much have to be in the trench the entire time. And there's multiple flags that are kind of like that. A, which has multiple pillboxes, you can cap from top the pillboxes. In the pillboxes, there is some cover. And of course, E and C, you have multiple houses. B, you've got the verticality of the bridge above you or beneath you, depending on where you're at. So D's a pretty tough and chaotic spot, and actually so can A. Even though you've got those pillboxes, it's mostly trenches there and lots of different spots. So the bridge is this nice juicy spot that a lot of people want to go to, but be very careful. And there you see the crosshair really jumping around, and my tank isn't doing anything right here. So this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, as I miss a freebie on the plane, but we're gonna get the double dip potato chip real quick because I just reloaded my round just in time. So B is this big spot that people like to hit pretty heavy and hard. You gotta be careful. Don't take the bait. The last thing you want to do is get in the middle of the bridge, which is the spot that can come down, and have your tank go for a trip. I believe the French tank can flip on this thing depending on how it blows up and if it turtle shells you over. But again, we have taken down the bridge multiple times with the Char 2C, and you'll see it in this round. The Char 2C, the new death machine, does not flip. It will be angry once you put in that river and give it a little bit of a free tank wash, but it is coming for you. This map plays really well. It's got nice fluidity to it and multiple lanes. There is the bridge, there is underneath the bridge, you can go through the river, and there's two different lanes on the AD side and the CE side, far enough out that the tanks and armor can go across. On the DA side, it's just a bunch of rubble and debris, and then on the the CE side, it's actually a bridge, which I don't know if you could take that out yet. So the question you're probably asking is, well, how much punishment does the bridge on B have to take before it goes down? Is it like Fraggle Rock, aka Jack Fragg's Hill on Cyanide, that underpass? Does it take a ton of beating? Actually didn't seem to take that much. We started harping on it with AT rockets. I threw in quite a few tank shells and aiming towards the middle, and down it went. So it's something that seems to be pretty easy, and if you have 3 or 4 teammates focus on it, especially if there's one tank, it came down pretty decent each time that we did it. It's not like we sat there pounding this thing, keep hitting it more and more and more. When we decided to make the call to take it down, it went down each time within 10 to 20 seconds or so. The other nice thing I like about Rupture is it's a mix of infantry and armor, and it's not too much of one thing. There are 2 tanks per side plus the Char 2C. If your side gets down, remember that can 2-bang heavy tanks and 1-bang light tanks, and there are 2 air vehicles as well, which is balanced out by each team having 1 AA at their gimme. So here you see the bridge going down and the Char 2C taking a swan dive into the somewhat muddy river. So the map plays really well. It has a very nice fluidity to it, and there are multiple lanes that you can push across the river. Any place you can swim, or to get a vehicle cross in 3 different spots. The bridge goes down, as you see here. You can actually work the far outside lane over my right-hand corner or the far left lane over by D. plenty of spots to get jeeps and motorcycles over, not to mention your French tanks or heavy tank or light tank or whatever you may choose. There's tons of cover for infantry, and the air does not dominate this map like it does on Soissons, which is absolutely ridiculous, which had 8+ tanks on a very small map. I'd actually like to see that map have less than 2 tanks per team, because again, it's an absolute cluster at those D and C flags on Soissons, between the airplanes dive bombing in, getting 5 to 10 bangs, and the tanks just going ham at any moment in time. So what do you guys think about the gameplay you've seen for Rupture so far? What's your favorite map of the 3 that we've seen? Fort Vaux, Soissons, or Rupture? What are you most excited for? As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video because the intro was kind of fun to make. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.